So. Okay. Ja, machen wir einfach. Einfach weiter. Wo wir letztes Mal waren.
I see. Looks like you've been through the ringer.
Goro Zamezu, Chief of TMPD, Cybersecurity Division's Cyber Countermeasure Office, stood next to Oz and Nono, looking down.
Like I told you, I got rammed by a bunch of unmanned cars.
It was probably a canvas hack, and the perpetrator must have been quite skilled to have controlled so many cars at once.
Canvas, type of malicious cyber attack targeting vehicle systems.
Was the Special Forces group behind this too?
No, this ain't how Narashino does things.
I imagine it was the woman you almost ran over. I'll have to take the drive recorder.
Do whatever you like.
All shrugged and changed the subject.
So, what did you learn about the pair they were chasing?
Koro turned on a TMPD-issued tablet displaying a certain person's profile.
The boy is in TMPD's database.
So he's been arrested, huh?
No. About half a year ago, he got enrolled in one of our delinquent mentorships after participating in illegal graper races.
Koro shared the info with Oz's device.
What about the girl?
There's nothing on her.
Was she the one they were after?
Might have been the both of them. Are they down there?
Yeah.
We'll take them into custody immediately.
You gonna search for them yourself?
I called some subordinates.
A police car pulled up with perfect timing. Its sirens muted.
We're here, Chief!
Then, three oddly dressed women were inside.
Those are your subordinates?
They're officers of TMPD's Cybersecurity Division CCO, and idols too.
Huh.
Who are we supposed to look for?
Koro shared with them the same info he'd shared with us.
The boy is Polan Takaoka, 16 years old. The girl is currently unidentified. Takaoka is a suspect in several counts of traffic light and power supply system cracking incidents, as well as speeding. The two are currently somewhere in the Shinjuku crater.
How do we get an arrest warrant?
You aren't to arrest them, simply take them into custody. Refrain from using violent measures.
Understood. I don't like the dark. Stop being a scaredy cat and let's go.
Kurashina, I feel as if I'm forever saying this, but always remember to wear your cute smile.
Ah, yes, you're right. Idols make smiles.
And smiles
Okay.
make idols.
After her exchange with Kaoru, Bambi corrected her posture and gave a salute.
We'll be going then.
The hell was that about cute smiles?
The mission of all idols is a simple one. To share their smiles with fans, and in turn, make those fans smile too.
Uh-huh.
Hey, those police cars on their shoulders are kind of cool.
They are, aren't they? I'll bring you some merchandise next time.
Oh, Kaoru, you always know just what to say.
It's been almost 2 years since Sad Morning, huh?
I sometimes feel as though the world has already forgotten all about it. Life is going on as if it never happened. Am I overthinking it?
Maybe it's because the sites are fenced off and out of sight. But it's not like the stink's gone. Everyone's just putting a tarp over the mess and pretending it's clean. You gotta get a little numb to it if you want to stay sane.
So, in a way, this behavior is very human?
Exactly. Behavior like this proves we have souls at all, man.
It took us a while, but we found a place illuminated by moonlight. It looked like a large shaft made to transport materials, and it seemed to connect to the surface. There were no ladders or steps, though, so it was difficult for us to get out through it. Still, the moonlight alone was soothing enough. I wanted to sit right down and bask in it for a while. We'd been walking through dark subway tunnels and maintenance passageways for almost half an hour. Back then, the moment when we were flung out of Oz's car, I honestly thought we were gonna die. And we probably would have if we hadn't landed on a pile of soft stuff. That smooth landing probably saved our lives. After that, we ran into the crater, thinking our pursuers might still have been after us. The Shinjuku crater restoration was centered around where Shinjuku Station used to be. In other words, the rest of the crater was being ignored for now. That's why there was nobody else around, making it the perfect place to hide. Momo was constantly looking behind her, like something was following us. She'd been on the run for a while, so I guess she was exhausted.
Let's take a breather.
We needed a moment to cool off and figure out what we were dealing with.
Oh, I got a signal.
Hold on. Are you safe?
Hey, bro. I'm all good.
I see. God, at least text me or something.
I couldn't. I had no reception until literally just now.
And here I was thinking the army had hauled you off.
Come on, have I ever failed ya?
Yeah, plenty of times. Where are you now?
In the Shinjuku crater.
I told him what happened after we were flung from Oz's car.
So that's what happened. Speaking of this Oz guy, he just left a comment on the Nakano Symphony's commissions page a moment ago.
I'd been doxxed already. That Oz guy sure was impressive.
Says he wants us to contact him for an info exchange. Who is he?
Dunno, but save that for later. First, I gotta get the army off our backs. Momo's not safe here.
The armies.
Momo let out a sudden yelp right as she sat down on a concrete block.
I'm sorry. It was colder than I thought.
She rubbed her butt as she spoke, trying to warm it. It was the end of November and we were 20 meters underground. Stood to reason the concrete was cold.
Please don't mind me. I'm comfortable in this outfit.
It sure looked warm, but it didn't cover her legs.
Okay.
I looked around for something I could use. There was a big drum and a load of packaging styrofoam. Yeah, that'll do.
Aye, Cross. Keep going.
According to the news, the army's retreated.
Shouldn't relax, though, huh?
The best place to shelter Momo would be...
We'll head back to Symphony. Help us out, bro.
It didn't look like much, but our Symphony hideout had pretty good security. I mean, it probably wouldn't hold up against the army, but it was better than being here in a goddamn crater. Plus, I couldn't think of anywhere else.
I saw a 4chan post saying the cops are gathered at the perimeter of the Shinjuku crater.
Maybe they're investigating the scene?
You should wait until they leave.
I took the drum and filled it with styrofoam, plus a bunch of other flammable-looking stuff.
How long do you think they'll be around?
I guess an hour, tops.
And that'd be when we could make our escape, most likely.
Oh, and can you ask Dub to pick up my graper? It's right here.
It's inoperable? Activating self-diagnosis mode.
After filling the drum with flammable material, I reached into my pouch and took out my multi-tool pocket knife. I infiltrated all kinds of places on my Nakano Symphony's chops, so it made sense to keep it at hand. It even had a lighter on it. Useful little guy.
The motor's damaged. You sure overdid it, huh?
It wasn't me. Those bastards put bullet holes through the rear wheel.
They fired at you?
Yeah!
I set the styrofoam on fire as I spoke to Cross. Black smoke billowed out, but it wasn't all that harmful.
Wow.
Momo walked up closer and clapped. The fire grew quickly.
Is your GF some sort of VIP?
We're not like that!
Leave the graper to me. You keep your girl safe.
She's not my girl. Jeez.
So warm.
It's not much, though, and it won't last long.
But it was still better than nothing. Momo watched the fire with a vacant expression. I could only hope her nerves had settled a little.
You're really good at building a fire.
It's a skill I picked up when sad morning struck. It was the middle of winter. You know what that means? Without fire, you die. So, I had no choice but to learn how to do it.
Sad morning.
Momo's face suddenly turned gloomy as she looked up through the shaft at the sky.
Countless people fell victim to it.
This your first time in a crater?
Yes.
They were all exclusion zones, but I'd been to the Daikanyama crater before on some hacker business.
I hadn't seen one either, until I went to Ochanomizu this morning and saw the crater there. I was shocked to think that it left scars so vast and deep the world over, with each of them claiming so many lives.
Momo embraced herself and shuddered.
Nobody was ready for it. Nobody saw it coming. People thought nothing of it, like it was someone else's concern. Me included.
They'd been warning that the year 2036 problem would be way worse than Y2K. Yeah, year 2000 thing, based around the belief that old computers would malfunction as they entered the year 2000. 2036, worldwide computer malfunction caused by an NTP error in 2036. On computers connected to the Internet User Communication Protocol called Network Time Protocol to synchronize with the UTC. In just a few milliseconds, NTP calculates the current time by adding seconds to the starting date of January 1st, 1900, and the value is stored as a 32-digit binary number. When the value exceeded the 32-digit binary limit, it reverted to 0, and since it happened on February 6, it became known as the year. Experts did program NTP to automatically transfer to a new system, but an error occurred and caused the sad morning. The single worst disaster of all time. Okay. And because of that, experts all over the world did whatever they could to prevent it. I'd heard about that even as a child. Back then, it seemed like most people didn't even know what overflow errors might trigger. But all the adults assured everyone they were prepared for it. That was why it was such a shock when something actually happened.
There were 6 SA-4Ds that fired at Tokyo. Their targets were...
Strategic attack for defense. Satelliten.
Akasaka. Ochanomizu, Shinbashi, Azabu, Daikanyama, and Shinjuku.
They were hit at almost the same time.
You know, I could have been dead too.
What?
It turned out there were other cities that were potential targets.
But one of the satellites that was set to strike SA4D 0144 happened to stop functioning right before it fired. It wasn't clear which area would have been hit, but for all we knew, it could have been Nakano, which is where I was.
Tons of people died that day, and even if you survived, you most likely lost a family member or someone close to you.
Did you lose someone too?
Yeah. My dad died in Shinbashi.
I'm sorry.
Huh? Why? You don't have to be sorry.
I tilted my head. She looked at me and I saw desperation in her eyes.
No, I'm sorry.
She really was a weirdo.
Anyways, no one had the power to stop what happened that day. Not the politicians with all their influence on the world stage. Not the spiritual leaders with their millions of believers. Not the experts. Not the engineers. Not even the hackers with mad skills, praised by others as wizards.
Hackers are wizards. We can make anything happen.
I suddenly remembered the saying my dad always came out with. Wizards, huh? My dad was a hacker. He worked officially as an engineer, but he had a side gig doing jobs as a white hat. Companies paid him to test security. I got my programming skills from him. He taught me when I was young. He wasn't too passionate about teaching me though, so my skills were still basically third rate. He was a real workaholic too. He cared so much about his work that he had no room in his life for me, or family in general. That's why my mother got fed up with him and left. I hadn't heard from her at all. I had no idea where she was or what she was doing. That's how it was growing up. And that's why I grew to hate him, and we pretty much stopped talking. Then that morning went down. Each of the SA4D attacks hit at different times, depending on the place. The year 2036 problem led to them malfunctioning at the same time. The attacks weren't simultaneous. The first payload target was Europe. Japan was slightly behind them, but only by a few minutes or so. Still, I had enough time to find out about the SA4D malfunction in Europe and contact my dad.
Dad, where are you? You heard what's happening in Europe right now?
Don't disturb me. I'm working.
Just those cold words, and then he ended the call. That was our last conversation. Hackers are wizards. We can make anything happen.
My dad... Hackers couldn't do shit.
And it didn't matter whether they were script kiddies or the cream of the crop. None of them could do anything. I was a hacker too, but I only did it to make a living. I didn't actually like it. I wasn't like my dad. I wanted to be somebody who helped people in ways hackers couldn't.
Hey, Momo. If you need help, I'm right here. You can count on me.
I didn't care if I was being intrusive or nosy or whatever. If I couldn't help her, I'd just be the same as those hackers. The same as my dad. But Momo wasn't exactly overjoyed. She didn't even nod. She just sat there with a troubled look on her face.
That's the end of the report.
Once Graham Kingley finished explaining why the operation had failed, the stage was set for the others in attendance to speak up. The Minister of Defense bore the brunt of the criticism.
Were you not supposed to settle this peacefully? How did things escalate this far?
The restoration works may have familiarized the citizens with military activity, but this is ridiculous!
Do you think media silence comes cheap? And after all that, you still failed.
I heard you even overrode traffic lights and civilian vehicles! When did I ever allow cracking in public?
Those were not the actions of our army operators. Do not misattribute it.
It doesn't matter who did it. It's still a stick for the opposition to beat us with. And we're already under fire from the public as it is.
Would it make sense to blame the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for having given in to their demands so thoughtlessly? Demands that bypass proper diplomatic routes ought to be rejected immediately. What would you say to that?
Do you honestly think Japan has the power to refuse? The last 50 years have mutilated this country. The divide between the government and its people is so vast, we'd need more than a few decades to fix it. Even after we formed the JUSDF, it was simply dismantled and incorporated into the US Army. That's exactly the sort of thing that's left this country weaker than ever.
We are not here today to discuss such things.
Besides, this was all approved by the Prime Minister anyway.
I'll thank you not to drag him into this. We must act as if this were something we decided on our own.
We never demanded the mobilization of the army.
What were we supposed to do exactly? We were to secure a girl we knew nothing about while refraining from investigating her altogether. It was simply absurd.
Such things are beyond our control. We are not at fault.
And even if we did use the army, what alternative did we have?
They were the only ones we could mobilize quickly and discreetly. I'm certain I informed you of this. Any other units would have necessitated half a year's worth of paperwork.
Even so, using live ammunition was a bridge too far.
The army does things its own way.
We've received a complaint from the Vatican regarding the failure of the operation.
So, do they want to strangle the one responsible?
The failure rests on my shoulders. I'm prepared to accept any punishment I deserve. I ask only that my subordinates be spared.
No response came. No one present had the official authority to impose punishment on Graham. This meeting itself was unofficial and would remain off record. The awkward silence continued until the amulet representative broke it.
We should have used Gaia.
That's a good point. Capturing the girl would have been simple using Gaia's predictions, wouldn't it?
Or perhaps you did use them and failed anyway. Is Gaia some hunk of scrap incapable of finding a single girl? I very much doubt it.
Indeed. Gaia exists to bring an end to this era in which the Vatican has power over us.
What?
Speaking of which, why isn't Soga here? I'm quite certain we called him.
That was when Ewan Okuda was standing next to Graham opened his mouth for the first time since entering the room.
Gaia has been inactive for the last 2 days due to the scheduled maintenance of the quantum computer unit. The head researcher is currently in charge of this operation and thus cannot leave Gaia's side. There is also the possibility that forcing Gaia to operate while under maintenance would have caused further issues. Issues that would have taken even more time to address. The head researcher refused to gamble your Gaia on this mystery girl. However, he did rendezvous with the unit as ordered while the operation was still ongoing. If you wish to complain regardless, please share your complaints with me, and I will relay them to him.
The room fell silent.
We did as the Vatican told us. That alone is enough. The results do not matter.
This time the silence was broken by the Minister of Defense, the only one seated in a position directly facing Graham and Ewan. Ich nehme an, der wird Englisch ausgesprochen wie der Graham auch.
Our work here is done.
With those words, everyone in the room was freed from the troublesome matter, and the mood in the room became lighter. The Minister of Defense glared at Graham and Ewan.
Resume your original mission. You will not be punished for this. Dispose of the documents you were provided, as well as all data you gathered during the operation. and tell Soga to do the same. Am I clear, Major?
Yes, sir.
So I knew exactly what was gonna happen, since it was my second time through.
After passing the pedestrian bridge with the graffiti, my graper was hacked, and we were thrown off it. Then that tatted bodybuilder beat the shit out of me. Next, the chopper carrying the boy with the bow tie took Momo away. After that, I saw a screen in my BMI that I'd never before, and when I selected it, the world reset. Yeah. I already knew that the army would be made to retreat, and I knew when Oz would drive by too. And everything went exactly as I remembered. Momo had no recollection of being flung off the graper, or of being taken away by the chopper. None of that stuff has happened to this Momo.
Hold on. What could have triggered such a phenomenon is beyond me. But I do believe it's possible.
Why is that?
I myself had a similar experience earlier.
Seriously?
Although in my case, it was more like... how should I put it? I suddenly saw it. I guess you could call it a vision.
Are you talking about what happened at the park?
What is this? Why am I... No. This isn't good. We need to run if we stay here any longer.
Momo was speaking like she sensed danger back there before the army actually showed up.
I saw the two of us surrounded by the soldiers, and one of them punching you in the stomach, knocking you to the ground.
All of that? In a split second?
Yes.
And that was exactly what happened. It was different from what happened to me, though, that was for sure.
Some sort of precognition? Has anything like that happened to you before?
Yes, a long time ago. But I saw many visions just today. Do you remember how I said your face flashed in my mind before I met you? That was one of them. One may consider this as a miracle.
A miracle, huh? Was she the type to seriously believe in them? Was I supposed to play along, or... Saying nothing else, Momo fell silent, her face troubled. I had no idea what she was thinking, so I didn't know what to say. I figured maybe I should shut up too. Still had to make sense of what happened to me. So, the thing I needed to figure out was that weird screen I saw before the world reset. Was it a BMI app? If it was, I couldn't remember installing it at all. Thinking about it, I'd actually seen that screen before in video games.
Yeah, it's where you manage your save data. Whoa, there it is!
Yes?
Oh, it's nothing.
The same window appeared over my BMI. Did it react to my voice? If this was a save screen, were all of these things saved data? This one didn't have a date, though. Was it corrupted or something? It seemed kinda dangerous, so I decided not to touch it. Oh. Yeah, this really was a save screen. My guess was right. There had to be a load screen too, then. That was the one I'd seen at the airport. How was I supposed to activate it? It seemed to react to my voice last time, but how could I bring it up in my head without saying anything? Right. Load screen, come out. Come out. Come on. Hey. Hello? No good. Do something. Did I actually need to say it? I wasn't getting any kind of response. Show thyself, load screen. Hey, load screen. Activating load screen. Please show the load screen. Pretty please. Oh, test. Load screen, come on. Come out. Come on. Hey, hello. No good. Do something. Oh, soll ich? Gibt's ein... Kurz Ding für Load. Also... Okay, Moment. Hallo Ritzer.
Hold on tight, Momo!
Ja, gut. Das kennen wir. Keine Ahnung, was das Spiel von mir will. Also. Ups. Ist doch den Hacking Trigger heißt es. Ah, okay.
Whoa!
And there it was. How did this work? Was it deciphering my brainwaves? Did BMI have a function like that? If I loaded this data, would I go back in time like before?
Yeah, right.
I felt stupid taking this shit seriously. I had to chill. Kann ich das nochmal machen? Okay. Time is a one-way street. It can't be turned back. And even if it could, that sure as hell wasn't something a BMI app could pull off. Then again, I could clearly remember going back in time. That was something that actually happened, no doubt about it. And I was the only one aware it had happened. Why was it just me? If time really did move backwards, then my own consciousness and memories should have been reset too. I was aware the whole time though, and I remembered everything. The impact I felt when my Graper crashed and I hit the road, the wind blast from the chopper taking off, my powerlessness at the airport. I vividly remembered every detail. It couldn't have been some illusion. What was it then? Was I actually just seeing some VR shit right now that I'd dive into VR mode without even realizing? That would explain why I'd seen the same thing twice. When did it happen though? How long had I been in VR? Since Momo appeared? Since yesterday's party at Symphony? Recent VR was so photorealistic that it was indistinguishable from reality. When the hell did I dive though? Plus, there's no way someone could have forced me into VR mode while I was sleeping. To prevent all kinds of accidents, modern VR systems were designed not to allow non-permitted dives. Of course, hackers could have messed with those systems and forced me to dive against my will. But I couldn't imagine anyone going that far just to make me see all this. Were there any other ways to explain a phenomenon where you experience the same few hours multiple times? Maybe there was something on the internet. First, there was the good old time machine. Was it my Graper? Was it way more advanced than I thought? No way. Also, if I went back in time using a time machine, wouldn't there be two of me? Besides time machines, there was also parallel worlds. Well, I did relive the experience and took different actions which led to a different outcome. Did that mean there were multiple worlds that I'd somehow moved between? But why did that happen? How did I do it? Yeah, this was just as absurd as the time machine idea. Then there was time leaping. Worlds that exist parallel to ours, but in a different space-time. Time leap. Japanese constructed term used to describe the act of moving through time as only your consciousness transferring your mind into your past or future self's body. The term for movement through time along with your body is time travel. Oh. It made sense to assume my consciousness was the only thing that had gone back in time, given the state my body and Graper were in. Would it really be safe to assume that though? There was a fundamental problem with all of these theories. Why wasn't my consciousness rewound, or my memories? Was it because I was the one who used the load screen? Was that why I was the only one who went back along with time itself? But I'd heard consciousness was something people couldn't figure out. They had no clue where it came from, always asking, where is the self? But now we had an app that let you redo things in the past while keeping your consciousness and memories intact. And I just happened to be the one who used it. Trying to figure it out just confused me more. It didn't seem like I'd get answers anytime soon. No matter how much I thought about it, I never got any further than guesswork.
For now, I'll just call this saving and loading.
Only one thing that was clear to me, that my BMI had been hacked by someone. And this person had given me access to some weird app with access to the supernatural, or at least something like it.
Trying to mess with me, huh?
I tried checking the BMI connection logs. I hadn't done much of a deep dive, but I couldn't see any signs someone had messed with it. My BMI had some tight security, and I'd installed some protection patches that were solid by my calculations. Did the hacker really bypass all that and break in? They'd need insane skill to pull that off. You'd need to be like wizard tier. Was I dealing with one of the greatest hackers of my generation? Had I ever done anything to get someone like that on my ass? A chill went down my spine as frustration began to well up within me. Some hacker had done all this to me, and I couldn't even trace them back.
Damn it. Pisses me off.
When? When was this function added to my BMI? I looked back on all that had happened in the past few hours. The events of the day had been wild, but...
Nothing really stands out.
I had to get back to figuring this thing out. Could I save my own data in the empty areas?
Did I just save, like, now? Seriously?
Did it really create a save of the entire world just now? Damn, how much space would that file need? If I tried loading the saved data now, I'd find out whether I could use the save and load feature myself. Okay. Part of me was tempted to try it. Was this a good idea?
Load.
Aber das ist nicht da, wo er gespeichert hat.
Huh?
I guess I'm hungry. How about you?
Yeah, me too.
If her stomach hadn't rumbled, I might have actually tried to load. As far as I knew, though, it could still be a trap, so it was probably a good thing I didn't. Wieso ist das jetzt da? Das ist da. Komisch. I decided to postpone the test. I looked at the time and realized that almost an hour had passed since we started our little break. I was getting kinda hungry myself.
Let's get going.
I got up and told Momo to do the same.
There's no sign of them at all. Are they really here?
We're not even past the station yet. We gotta head further in.
But it's dark over there.
Stop being a scaredy cat and get a grip.
The chief will get mad at you if you don't take this seriously.
I know that. Speaking of the chief, it's weird for him to show up at the scene of a crime like this. Usually he only does that for PR events. Is this Polon Takaoka guy a huge threat to society or something? But for all he didn't actually harm anyone, so... He doesn't seem like that much of a bad guy. It's so weird.
Stop looking for excuses to give up the search.
Ja, kurz für euch beide. Die haben wir heute kennengelernt, die drei. das sind anscheinend welche, die für die Polizei arbeiten, aber auch gleichzeitig Idols sind und ja.
No, I want to look for him. I just don't want to look for him in dark places.
Das ist ein bisschen weird.
Same difference. Would a menace like him actually hide somewhere like this anyway? It's not like we're just gonna bump into him. Face match detected!
Oh.
What the?
We did bump into him! Pull on Takaoka, I assume? We're the police!
Yep. We were this close to getting out of here, and now we bumbled our asses right into the cops. I'd gotten sloppy, thinking they'd all left. Though,
You're cops? For real?
You can't tell from how we look?
He obviously can't.
We're police officers as well as idols.
Idols?
Yep. That explained why they looked like that. Though part of me still wondered whether they were middle-aged men in disguise. Nope.
So, this is your side job?
Were they some third-rate idols doing some desperate collaboration with the police?
No, it is not. Looks like it's time to introduce ourselves, girls. Rico, Iroha, here we go.
Huh? Really?
Oh no.
Oh my.
I romp through the digital woods, splashing water on every hacking blaze I see. My sweet honeypot is gonna trap all the baddies. I'm your cheery, frisky fawn, Bombi Kurashina.
Bombi!
Next up, Rico!
How'd you like some meds and shots? Viruses, data tampering, nothing goes under my radar. You're not leaving till you change your ways. I'm the cool-headed girl that all hackers fear. Rico Sawai.
Rico! And finally, Iroha!
Are you bad-mouthing someone? That's a no. Selling or buying illegal stuff? Sharing naughty pics and vids? Absolutely not. Be good and you'll get a reward from me. I'm your warm, gentle big sis. Iroha Kyogoku.
Iroha! We're TMPD Cybersecurity Division Cyber Countermeasures Officers.
The Cyberforce dolls!
We're actual police officers. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm not seeing much of a reaction here.
How are we supposed to react?
He looks kinda red.
Did we make him blush?
Like hell I'm blushing.
You can become our fan anytime you want, young man.
Stop poking me. I ain't falling for that kind of stuff.
Bombi, stop playing around and do your job.
Jeez, but this is part of our job too. Sorry if this seems sudden, but pull on Takaoka. You are under arrest.
Yeah, it's sudden.
The weird words and poses had left me dazed, but this was no time to be spacing out.
Bombi? I think you mean taking into custody.
Oh, right. Please, come with us.
Not happening. If you want to take me, you gotta show me a warrant.
Cracking power supply system, overriding and ignoring traffic lights. Oh, I can definitely have an arrest warrant issued, if you'd like.
Please come with us. You too, young lady.
don't seem to have a profile. What's your name? Where do you live?
Did he force you to wear that strange outfit?
Did they think I was some kind of pervert? Well, whatever. It didn't matter right now. I looked over at Momo. She still had a sullen look on her face, and she wasn't saying a word. She couldn't even discuss her situation with the police. That left me with one choice.
I'll say it again, Momo. I'm an Anon with a bright future who can't sit idly by when someone's in need.
Without a moment to lose, I took her hand.
Come on!
And booked it away from the officers as fast as we could.
Hey! Stop right there!
We ran through the labyrinthine passageways and old subways, deliberately taking random paths to throw them off. Shortly after we lost them, we jumped into a worker prefab that happened to be nearby. Momo was fresh out of breath after all that running. It didn't look like she could take another step. Those three probably hadn't given up, though. It was only a matter of time before they found us again, so we had to find a way to lose them. I looked around the prefab.
No hidden room, no secret passageway.
It was a really simple prefab where workers could change clothes or take a breather. Some chairs were set up around a table in the middle, and we found uniforms in the lockers lining the walls.
Maybe use these as disguises. Would that work?
9. There was also the option of bribing the workers to sneak us out among them. The only problem was that there wasn't a single worker here. Would the workers show up before the cops found us? And would they be open to bribery? Betting on that seemed hella risky.
Cross, did you hear me talk with those three?
Yeah.
I gotta shake them off. Weren't there apps that use AR to change your looks? Would one of those work?
I mean, they exist, sure, but the good ones aren't cheap.
And the cheap ones?
They're cyber countermeasures officers, right? I'm pretty sure they'd see right through those.
We definitely didn't have the funds for a good one. Oh, they found us. How? I was pretty sure they didn't see us coming in here. Then again, it's not like there was anywhere else to go.
Hey, can we talk this out?
I called out to them.
Sure, I hacked the traffic lights and the power supply system. I went past red lights. I was speeding too. But I had my reasons. You know the army went apeshit earlier, right? They were chasing us. They're the ones that should be arrested.
Yeah, we'll hear you out. Just open up.
She didn't believe me? Were they working with the army? Or did she just think I was joking or talking out of my ass? Whichever it was, it didn't seem like they were gonna listen.
I'm terribly sorry for getting you involved in this.
Momo bowed her head in apology.
Come on, it's not over until it's over. I haven't given up yet.
Then again, there wasn't much I could do. Where could we go from here?
Come on, Polan, think. You're not gonna stop here. This is nothing. It can't just be me, though. Momo needs to get away also. Come on, Polan, think. Oh! That's right! I forgot about this. Yeah, I guess the time is now. It could be a trap, but let's do this!
Next moment, I was in front of a fire with Momo sitting right next to it. The prefab I was just in had vanished, and when I looked up, I saw a shaft leading up to the open night sky.
Seems like it worked.
What was that?
As Momo tilted her head, I pointed at her stomach.
Wait for it.
Huh?
Momo got flustered and covered her stomach.
I loaded the save, and it worked.
I went ahead and explained what had just happened.
And now I'm back. That's why I knew what was gonna happen. But the thing is, the load screen popped up even though I wasn't thinking about it at all. Someone must have done it to remind me.
And who was that someone? It could only be one person.
The high and mighty super hacker that messed with my BMI and left without a trace is the one who pulled me out of that shit.
And damn, I didn't like it. There was still no evidence of unauthorized access. But I was pretty sure they were watching me. They couldn't have displayed the load screen with such perfect timing if they weren't watching me. Maybe I should call out to them.
Hey, you watching me?
Yeah?
If you are, why don't you get that load screen up like before?
Okay.
Yo. There you go. Now I definitely know that you're watching me.
I don't know what you're planning, but with the situation being what it is, I can't be making any compromises, so I'm gonna be using this saving and loading thing. With that settled, it was time to figure out our options. The saved thumbnails were images of what I could see at the time. I could also delete them if I wanted to. Alright. So, what would happen if I went back and loaded an older save after making new data? Loaded. Momo's stomach was about to rumble.
I guess I'm hungry. How about you?
Alright, this is good. Wait, what?
The news save was gone. So loading a save from before the newest one erases the newest one. This meant that everything I'd done since my last load, including the new save, had been undone. No matter what I'd done or what the results were. Simply by loading, I could erase all traces of my actions without anyone realizing. I could do anything now, even the worst crime... Whoa. Better quit that line of thinking right there. I'd never do anything that went against my principles. And if I ever came close to giving into that kind of temptation, I just have to ask myself if I was making a choice I could be proud of.
Hey, Momo, let's get going.
Okay.
I had an idea of what I was capable of now. All I had to do was find a way to get those 3 officers off our backs. I took Momo straight to the works prefab from before. There was no sign of the Cyber Force stalls yet, of course.
I want you to change into this.
I took a uniform from a random locker and handed it to Momo. She started fidgeting for some reason, though.
Change here?
Oh, right.
Where was the changing room? Could she do it in the restrooms? They were outside, though.
It's okay. I'll change here.
What?
No, could you look away for a moment?
Hey! Wait!
Hey, who locked it up? Wasn't me.
What?
You're the one with the key. Well, yeah, but did I lock it? Just open it.
Workers.
Oh, shit! Here, get in.
Acting on instinct, I pushed Momo into the nearest locker, then jumped in myself. Momo's strained breaths were going right in my ear. It was such a tiny space. Our bodies were squeezed so tight together that I could barely breathe. Come to think of it, we didn't have to hide. I could have just changed course and gone with the bribery idea. Instead, I really needed to cool off.
There it is. I swear. Sugimura always leaves it here.
By the way, did you hear about those Kabukicho maniacs getting in here? They're a bunch of arsonists, so the place had to get a whole load of extra fire alarms at short notice.
Yeah, I know. But hey, the place is more fun than you'd expect.
You actually went there?
I go after work every now and then.
Seriously? I kind of want to see for myself.
I'll show you how to get there. Let's go back.
It sounded like they left.
I think it's okay now.
By the time we got out of that tight locker, the workers were nowhere to be seen. Momo was barely standing, and it seemed like she might collapse any moment, so I went and supported her.
I needed some fresh air. I'm sorry.
No, I shouldn't have crammed you in there. Let's rest until...
Excuse us. We are police officers. There is something we would like to ask you. Wait! Ah! We finally found them.
Sorry for ruining the moment.
I quickly let go of Momo.
We were scared senseless searching for them in the pitch black. They were doing this. Kids these days.
You're about their age.
Yeah, I know, but... whatever. You must be Poon Takaoka. We're police officers.
Man, can't believe they caught me again.
Again?
Oh, I just, think I saw you somewhere before. Yeah.
Really? We're TMPD Cybersecurity Division Cyber Countermeasures Officers.
The Cyberforce dolls, was it?
Yeah, that's right. Wow, you're the fourth person we've met who knows our unit's name. I think we should treat you to our introduction for that.
No, we're good.
Huh? But we really don't mind.
My cringe tank was still full from the first time I'd heard it.
Oh, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
Did your boyfriend do something to you?
Whoa, whoa, where was this coming from? Things were taking a weird turn. My second try was gonna come to nothing at this rate. It was time for a redo.
Buzz off.
Hey.
Just watch me. Hey, enough of that. Just watch me.
Coming to this prefab might have been a mistake. That reminded me though. The workers who'd come over said something interesting. Something we could use to our advantage. Diesmal hab ich das gar nicht.
I guess I'm hungry. How about you?
Sorry, we won't use the lockers again.
Oh, it's not your fault. Wait, lockers?
I took some deep breaths to cool my head.
Anyways, this time...
We were gonna go that Kabukicho district that the workers mentioned. I searched it online and found a way to get there fast. It was in the opposite direction from the station, so we wouldn't run into the Cyberforce dolls there.
We gotta climb this ladder.
The entrance to the passageway was in the middle of a subway tunnel with a ladder leading up into a shaft. It seemed like a passageway meant for regular inspections. And if we went through it, we would end up in Kabukicho.
It's a bit unsteady, so I'll support you. You climb first.
Okay.
Momo reached for the ladder enthusiastically, but as she went to put her foot on the rung, she froze in place.
Momo?
Could you go first instead?
Huh? Why? Are you hurt somewhere? Does it hurt to climb? We can treat it, so...
It's not that.
Then are you afraid of heights?
Oh, Junge.
It's not that either.
Are you tired? We can take a break here.
Die hat keine Hose an.
It's not that either.
What? Are you just being stubborn then? Can't help you with that.
It's not that either.
After an extraordinary amount of hesitation, Momo managed to get her reason out.
I'm not wearing any...
Huh?
What?
I'm not wearing any underwear.
Oh. Well, okay.
What? Huh? Why?
There are reasons.
Reasons?
Like what? Was absolutely not a question I could ask out loud.
So, that's it.
Yes.
So she wasn't wearing any panties. She was wearing this thing that looked like both an animal costume and pajamas at the same time, but she wasn't wearing any panties. So back when we were running around Nakano, back when she clung to me on my graper, back when we jumped down to the underpass, back when we warmed ourselves by the fire, and even now, she wasn't wearing any panties.
Huh?
Please don't stare like that.
Oh, sorry. I'll go first. You just follow me.
Okay. Thank you.
Japan. Bitte. Warum?
Kabukicho. Bingo.
Kabukicho was one of the places that suffered a direct hit during that morning. It had been completely destroyed. After that, though, people who'd lost their homes, among others, took to squatting in the ruins. It had turned into a lawless wasteland. I'd heard that the locals were one of the reasons why the Shinjuku crater restoration wasn't going as fast as planned. People of all ages lived there, and there were a bunch of people you could tell weren't all there just from the look in their eyes. This wasn't a nice place by any measure, but that was exactly why I figured it'd be good for losing our pursuers.
Let's go to Shin Okubo and grab a taxi.
It was real refreshing to finally get some fresh air after being underground for so long. Feeling good, so I stretched my body a bit.
Finally, I'll be able to go home.
Pull on Takaoka!
What?
We've been looking for you. We're the police.
The three Cyberforce dolls parted the crowd and came over to us. They almost looked at home, wearing those weird outfits in a chaotic place like this. Were they waiting for us?
How did you know we'd come here?
You need to put out your fires properly, with water. You wouldn't want them to spread, now would you?
We used heat sensors to find that fire of yours, then followed your body heat.
We'd like you to come with us, please.
Damn, heat tracing. Looks like I really underestimated you. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take you guys more seriously next time.
This place wasn't normal. The locals might get involved if we started messing with the police, and that wouldn't end well for us. Kabukicho was just that messed up. Sneaking out without drawing any attention would have been ideal, but we'd been found, so hanging around wasn't a good idea.
Hey, don't try anything fun.
Hey.
There's no sign of them at all. Are they really here?
Ja, machen wir nächstes Mal. Hier weiter.